Welcome back to C8 on Speed 252. If this is your first time stopping by, well, my name is Clarence, and I want to thank you for pushing that play button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then what are you waiting for? Push that subscribe button. Right now, we're standing in front of my C7 Chrome Wrap Corvette, which is a brand built by Chevy themselves. This is their 7th generation Corvette, and this is an awesome machine to drive. With that being said, as you all know, the C8 Mid Engine Corvette has arrived, and on October 2nd, they plan to unveil the 2020 C8 Mid Engine Corvette convertible. I'm excited and looking forward to that. Chevrolet, with all you guys have done for me, I will feel honored and love to partner with you with a next generation Corvette. If you have a C8 Mid Engine Corvette that's laying around in the back that no one's using, definitely feel free to send it my way. I would love to make great content with it on YouTube and display this car around the world. Represent the Chevrolet brand and Corvette brand the best way I know it. And for all my followers, if you guys are watching this right now, well, I want to thank you guys for your support from day one until now. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Along this journey that I've been going to, the unveiling in Bowling Green, I met a lot of people along the way. I want to shout out some of those people that I actually met, which are Mr. Taj, Mr. Harlan, Mr. Zach, Mr. Kirk, Mrs. Kelly, Mr. Kelly, and Mr. Christopher. You guys are treating me like family, and that's what I love about Chevrolet, because they feel like they treat you well and they represent the brand well, and I would love to represent the brand just as well as they did in future years to come. With that being said, I want to share with you some of these awesome memories that I shared with these people while I was in Bowling Green and in the unveiling as well. So let me give you a story about Mr. Taj. I walked into Mr. Taj and said, hey, Mr. Taj, a lot of my followers want to know one question. What is your favorite part about the C8 Mid Engine Corvette? And he crossed his arms like this and said, well, that's a lot of question. You're not going to get a straight answer from me. But he started off by saying the C8 Mid Engine Corvette was one of the best cars he had driven. The drivability and how well that car drove was something that he appreciated a lot. And he went on to talk more about the car, but also about his wife. He loved his wife, and he said that he went to pick up some horse straw in his Corvette, and people were shocked that he didn't show up in the truck. So, that was a nice memory that he shared with me, and I greatly remember that, and I greatly appreciate him doing that. When I met Mr. Harlan is a nice-spoken, well guy. He loves the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. He loves everything he had to do with it. And I can tell you right now, that is one guy that can talk about the C8 Mid Engine Corvette all day long, and he was definitely a big deal, a big part of that car. Mr. Harlan, I want to thank you, for spending the time with me and talking about the car as much as you possibly did. And, just being friends with you has been great. I want to also talk about Mr. Kirk. Mr. Kirk now, I actually ended up eating lunch with him as well, and he said, I watch your videos, and that made me feel really great coming from someone that, are a part of the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. And I asked him on a sneak tip, like, hey, can I possibly drive the C8 Mid Engine Corvette? And he looked at me and was like, well, if you get the right people to say yes, then why not? I got a car sitting around the back, and, I was super excited to drive it. Unfortunately, I didn't drive it, which is okay. I'm hoping that I can get this car at some point and be able to drive it. Mr. Kirk was super nice, super friendly as well. And, he was just very phenomenal. He showed me around his car and all that great stuff. Another person I want to talk about is Zach. Zach is a guy I met a few times at the unveiling and at Bowling Green as well. He comes in at 6'8". At least he's definitely taller than me, make me feel short, which is usually a rare thing. And I asked him so many questions about the C8 Mid Engine Corvette that he was able to answer on point, on cue at all times. And Zach is, he had a newborn baby. He's a super awesome guy. I'm super excited to even actually met him. And, he can answer, like I said, any question about the C8 Mid Engine Corvette that you can possibly ask. And another person I met in Bowling Green was Miss Kelly. She was phenomenal. She was handing out posters. She had an awesome smile. She brightened up anyone's day. And, we talked about the Chevrolet brand and how long she's been working there. And I can tell right now she was definitely have to be a part of that team, part of that brand and that community. And another person in that meeting was Mr. Kelly. I met him at the unveiling. I met him at Corvette and Call Out as well, and he was super nice, super friendly. Another person I met is Mr. Chris. I met him at the unveiling. He was not in Bowling Green, but I had great conversation with these guys over email, over the phone, and they was very helpful. They was very, thoughtful of me, and I really appreciate them so much. And, this is my thank you to Chevrolet for inviting me out to these events. You guys have done a phenomenal job, and I want to take this brand that you guys have brought together and share it amongst the world. All ages. I want to take both of these cars, this C7 Corvette and the C8 Mid Engine Corvette, across the world for so many people to see and show off you guys' talent. Like I said before, I want to represent the Chevrolet brand the best way I possibly can, and I definitely want to do that and share those memes with you all. As you all know, I am a YouTuber, and I greatly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come out and spend this time with you all. And with that being said, let's talk about some things that I actually love about the C8 Mid Engine Corvette and what I saw in person and what I think this car will bring to the world. So before I get into the C8 Mid Engine Corvette, let me talk about the Chevrolet brand as a whole. The Chevrolet brand has been great to me. I felt like family being a part of it. I have owned a number of Chevrolet cars, and I can tell you one thing, I always felt like I was driving something that was reliable and something I can always depend on. Chevrolet is a brand that listens to their customers. Anytime their customers give them feedback, they take that information, they always improve upon their vehicles going forward. I can tell you one thing right now, owning a Chevrolet product has been one of the best things that have happened to me, and being a part of the Corvette brand has made it even better. So now on to the C8 Mid Engine Corvette, which has been something spectacular. I've had opportunity to see in person numerous times. And I can tell you right now, if you haven't seen it for yourself, then you might want to find a local dealership because this thing is on tour and you'll be amazed about how well Chevrolet and the team did on this car. So my first thoughts when I saw this car was, it still looked like a Corvette to me. A redefined Corvette. It has so many angles. You can see all the body lines. This car seemed like it didn't have any body fat whatsoever. And a lot of people was concerned about a lot of things when Chevrolet decided to go from front engine Corvette to mid engine Corvette. And I can tell you right now, the front engine Corvette is great, but the mid engine Corvette is phenomenal. You know, from the trunk space to the front space to the interior to me is out of this world. When you go look at McLarens and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and you think their interior looks nice, wait until you see the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. You will be the same exact way. The same way you saw those cars are the same feeling you're going to have with this car. You look at the seats and how well they redefine these seats, from the GT1 seats to the GT2 seats and the competition seats. I can tell you right now, all of them will feel just as great. If you're that racing guy who needs to be planning your seat, then a competition seat for you. If you're that guy that just want to have some good looking seats between the GT1 and the GT2, well, you can't go wrong with either one of them. So let's take a look at the steering wheel. For everyone that was actually driving this car and felt comfortable in this car. And they got it to where it's flat at the top and flat at the bottom for two reasons. Flat at the bottom, so when you get in this car, you can have plenty of leg space. And for the top, why it's flat, so you can see your dashboard while you're driving. They made this car appealing to the driver because they catered it to the driver, so that way the driver can always have that good experience anytime they're behind the wheel of the C8 Mid Engine Corvette. One thing I want to mention about the Corvette brand is that they always listen to their customers. I'm super excited to tell you that the Corvette, as you all know, came in under $60,000. Chevrolet have always proven to keep their sports car at a great price point for their customer base. And that's one thing a lot of mid-engine sports cars cannot say. And I'm super excited to get behind the wheel of a car that I know that has been proven and has been put to the test so many times over and over again by people that truly believes in their brand, their hard work and their dedication to the Corvette brand and the new C8 Mid Engine Corvette. So a few things that I feel like Chevrolet did a great job in improving on because they listened to their customers, well, they put in front end lift, a front end lift on the C8 Mid Engine Corvette, which is definitely something that a lot of people asked for. Another thing that people wanted to stick with the Chevrolet brand is cargo space. A lot of people take this car and travel around the world. They was able to implement a mid engine sports car on top of that, add enough cargo space where you can travel the world. I don't have enough words that can express how I feel about Chevrolet and the guys that have been part of this team. Until you see this car for yourself, you will understand that everything I'm saying right now is definitely something that is important. Why this brand is so important to me, the Chevrolet brand and Corvette brand, because these guys stuck to their roots, took a car, redesigned it, improved it even better than what they did before. And I can tell you right now, well, you got a lot to see when you see this car in person. And the one thing I like about this team the most, the Corvette team and the Chevrolet team, is that they treated me like family. They brought me in, they told me a lot about the car, we had laughter, we ate lunch together, and it would just feel like a whole family all together. So now I see how these guys feel when they're actually working on this car behind closed doors. And that's why I say I can't wait for you to see exactly what they have done to the C8 Mid Engine Corvette if you have not seen it in person, because you got a lot of things to look forward to. Once again, my name is Clarence, and I want to thank you for pushing that play button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely feel free to do so. And I want to give a big shout out to all of my followers who've been supportive of the channel, along with Chevrolet, along with the Corvette brand. I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors as well. Atom Polishes and ACS Composites, you guys have been great, and you guys have shown me a lot of love since I've been on YouTube. And once again, thank you Chevrolet and the Corvette brand for being here for me as much as you have. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Until then, see you on the Speed 252. We'll catch you another episode.